Hey, how's it going everybody? Welcome back to another video. So today's video will be on what I wish I knew before I started my legal internship. So I've had a few legal internships in the past, so this will be based on my first legal experience in the field and what I wish I knew before I did my first internship. If you are a law student or thinking about entering the legal field, this video will be perfect for you. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. I think the biggest point to make in this video is that a legal internship is actually very different than what it is to go to law school. So in law school, you are learning more than one subject and you're basically trying to balance all these subjects, understand them well, and learn them from a broad point of view. So you have to basically understand quite a few principles, quite a bit of law. Maybe professors will have you memorize cases, case names, what have you. And the legal field is quite different. As you know, you will have resources. You'll have LexisNexis, Westlaw, Bloomberg, maybe whatever the law firm has. They're probably going to at least have one. So you're going to be focused in that one legal database. And unlike finals and stuff like that, you'll always have something to refer to. So it's not much memorization going on. You might pick up things along the way and it will be helpful next time you have to do an assignment that's similar. But even then, you could always pull up your last assignment, which will help you write this new assignment that's essentially the same in law maybe, or the way it's written, or the format itself. So you'll always have something to refer to. So that's very different than law school, where it's all about memorization, or not all about, but pretty much the same. So this is going to be pretty different to law school, where a lot of it is not memorization. But it is similar to law school in the sense that application is very important. So you find the law and you have these cases that you found through legal research, and now you have to apply them. So the application is going to be very similar to law school, where you will have to analyze things very thoroughly and try to make the arguments going for your side, going against your side, with a counter obviously. And so for that reason, it is similar in application, but not similar in terms of memorization or anything of that nature. Another thing to point out is that this is very narrow, unlike law school. So you won't have to know a lot, but you'll need to know what you are required to know very well. So for example, when you're dealing with torts, it's not like you're not to understand every single tort ever, but whatever this case is specifically about. So it's very narrow and nowhere near as broad as law school or any subject in particular. So that is another great thing. That is a lot different than law school, and I think it's for the better. So you'll understand certain areas more specifically and have a better hand at them. So legal research is different, like I mentioned, a lot narrower. Writing is also different, and this is very important, especially if your law schools require writing classes. I'm not sure if it's required everywhere, but at my law school, you were required to take writing classes all year long for 1L year, and it was a bit tedious, it was a bit annoying. And one thing I learned is legal writing in actual real life seemed to be quite different than what law school made it out to be, and I think it was for the better. There were aspects to it that were very important, like writing grammatically correct, the way you phrase things. You don't want to use legal jargon, you don't want to be too simple with your language either. So that was the same, but in terms of the writing formats and everything like that, it was actually quite different. I think another point to make about working at a law firm or a corporation or what have you is that it might not actually be always as serious as you would assume. So going into my first legal internship, I was actually pretty terrified because I was not sure what to expect. My legal internship was during summertime, so this was not necessarily a time where I would normally enjoy myself, since I was always taking summer classes to be ahead and whatnot. But there is a certain vibe to summer, especially in California, where the weather is nice and everything just seems to be pretty perfect and calm. And now I'm getting rushed with this legal internship. I've never had a legal experience outside of law school, and I'm terrified. So, one thing to note, and I learned this through a couple of experiences, but this would have been nice to know ahead of time. So, essentially, law firms and your legal experience might not actually be as serious as you would assume. The atmosphere might not be as serious as you would think, and the lawyers are not either. Maybe they have interesting personalities, they're charismatic, you got to deal with clients. So essentially, lawyers aren't this stuck-up type of person that you'd naturally assume them to be, at least not all of the time. And they are a people type of person a lot of times, and that makes them interesting. So that makes it less serious than you would assume. And these aren't people that are just like messing around or whatever, having the time of their lives. They do take their work seriously, but they do have personalities to them where it's just not this dry person where they're just literally handing you work, telling you to like go research this, go research that, go write this for me, and so forth. They actually do have these personalities to them that make them interesting characters. And this was something that I did not think about ahead of time, because I just assumed that this legal field was something very serious. We're handling people's lives. There's businesses, people, and so forth, all to take into consideration when we're working. Obviously, if you mess up, then it could create great damage. So you want to do everything properly. And a lot of those things might be true. People's lives are at hand, and there is a lot of stuff and a lot of pressure on you, but it does not always have to be a serious atmosphere. I know there are firms out there that do hold business in a more serious manner, but other times, based on my own experiences, it's not always like that. And I wish I knew that, so I would have some sense of relief beforehand, because I knew it was very tense filled, and I was very terrified going into the first internship. And this was also true for my second internship, because I did not know what to expect, but they both were not as serious atmospheres as I expected. And for me personally, that worked out, because it was kind of nice not having too much pressure on having everything be perfect. It was supposed to be a learning experience after all, and I actually enjoyed it not being as serious, but we always handled business in a serious manner. But the atmosphere was not serious in a way where everything was like quiet and everybody was just writing, typing, and so forth. It was, I wouldn't say a playful atmosphere, but it was calmer, and like there was people telling jokes and stuff like that. So there was always this sense of peace, essentially, where it wasn't that serious, and if you messed up, nobody was gonna like fire you on the spot or whatever. Another point I want to make is something I talked about in another video. So like I mentioned earlier on, please check it out. But an internship may be difficult to find, especially with competition, and this is something that I did not think about, and I definitely undermined. It is a lot of work to find an internship a lot of times. At least it was for me, and I know it was difficult for a lot of people, and it is a very stressful thing, especially with law school going on and you're like focusing on classes, and you also have to be worrying about whether you'll find an internship in time or what's going to happen. So it is very important to start ahead of time. It will be difficult, so you want to anticipate that it will be difficult, and if it ends up being easy, then good for you and more power to you. But you don't want to actually go in thinking it's going to be easy and then have a difficult time finding something. I know this video is more focused on what it's like to actually be in an internship, not finding one, so please refer to the other video I made if you have any questions about that. Another thing I wish I knew beforehand was that this legal internship can lead to future opportunities. This worked out for me. I actually had an externship last spring, and that led to me getting a job over the summer, and that led me to get a job in fall, and that led me to get a job again after my bar exam, and here I am now. So that one externship led to many different opportunities, so that is something to keep in mind. I know, like I was told once, that it might lead to something else, and I kind of did not believe it because there are so many law students out there, but maybe you have special qualities that might be recognized. So you will get more opportunities out of it. So you definitely do want to try your best, even if you're not getting paid, even if it's not a lawyer job that you want, like you're just a law student right now, and one day your time will come to be a lawyer. But you want to take this internship seriously. It can lead to future opportunities. Maybe it might even get you a lawyer job later down the line once you graduate. So definitely keep that in mind. I know it was told to me and I took it with a grain of salt. I somewhat believed it, but at the same time, I was like, why would they want me to internship for them again or give me a job out of it? But it can lead to more opportunities. Maybe if not, your own boss gives you another opportunity. Maybe connections you make through that experience will get you more opportunities. Maybe you meet other lawyers at court, or maybe your boss has other lawyer friends, or other people at the firm, or maybe people at the firm's friends. You never know exactly where connections might lead. So definitely keep that in mind and try your best to make your greatest impression on everybody around you, because it can lead to other opportunities, and overall it will make the experience better for you. So it's beneficial for you in many different ways, and obviously it will be beneficial for them to have this great intern for them in the future. Or maybe even if they refer you to somebody else, then it'll look good upon them to have this great intern that they gave experience to, and now this intern is working somewhere else doing even greater things. So yeah, it could definitely help the firm look good. It could make you look good. So definitely always try your best. And that's pretty much all. Thank you guys for watching. I'll definitely make a part 2 if more things come to mind. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys again for watching.